like you say, it's generational. Um, even with not even mental health, but just physical health. Like my grandmother had diabetes, my aunts and uncles got diabetes, now they kids got diabetes. You understand what I'm saying? With black people, it's like it's just a never ending cycle. Why is it so hard for us to break these cycles, even when we've already experienced these things? Like you say, you see your nephew, you see your son, you see your grandson going through the same exact things. But what is it that's really, really preventing us from preparing them, for their life? You know what I'm saying?
So I think what we are not doing is we're not taking what our struggle was to sit our kids down and explain to them. Not explain to them so philosophical where they don't understand, but explain to them at an age where, hey, when I was that age, these are some things I did. I'm gonna help you. We got to stop talking to our kids when they get to a certain age. Our kids are well educated. They have so much information that when we was young kids, we didn't have. And if we don't take time to really groom them and spend time with them, all they're gonna do is just feel like they're ready to leave. They're ready to leave because they feel like the excitement of learning is no longer in the home. And they want to go somewhere else to get the excitement. The excitement should still be in the home. So my grandparents, my grandmother and my great grandmother died of pancreatic cancer. So I know the females died of cancer, but I don't know what my uncle died from. I don't know what other males in my family died from. And 3 years now, I went and did a colonoscopy. It came back okay, but they said I had prostate cancer, and I was like, "What? That was a cancer?" I mean, I was 50. Never, nobody in my family ever talked about it, and I was like, "Man." So the more I start reaching out to people, I start finding out our generation, our culture is always the last to know about stuff like that. So I said, you know what? Hey, let's encourage people to go get checked. Let's tell them the importance of it, because I had to tell my sons, hey, you don't wait till you 50, because I have it. You need to check at 30, because at 30 years old, you can have prostate cancer, not even know. So it's things like that. So I think some of the things I'm learning, I'm not afraid to share. I'm not afraid to go say, hey, you need to go get checked out. And you need to get checked out because your dad has it. And, men, we don't want to talk about that. Why? I don't know. Woman gonna talk about breast cancer. And everybody in her circle, everybody outside the family gonna know. But when it comes to men, we don't want to talk about it because we look at it as we're ashamed of it. We shouldn't be ashamed. We should be willing to share that because that could stop that lineage from continuing to endure. To share, have the patience to explain it to them so they'll understand it. We can't get all upset and mad when we telling them because they asking questions. They asking questions because they don't know. How did you get that? I call my dad and say, "Hey, Dad, man, you heard about? No, I ain't got prostate cancer." Call my brother, older brother. They didn't have it. So I was like, "How did I get it?" So I found some of the things on how I got it. And I was like, wow, I never thought of that. Not having enough vitamin D in my body, naturally getting the sun because I'm in the north, you don't get the sun like you do in Florida. Natural stuff like that. So natural things that we could be getting and should be getting, our kids don't even know about it. Because the first thing we don't do, give them a phone, give them a game. They play with that, and yet it's underlying issues that they're dealing with that they don't even know because we're ashamed to share it with them. We're ashamed to tell them or give them that information so they can research it.
Yeah, you exactly right. I was having this conversation with my family. Some people may take it the wrong way or get offended, but I'm basically saying that these kids are not prepared to deal with this world in the way that it is. They don't know what drugs are. They don't know what STDs are. They don't know what a gang is. They don't know what a con man is, a pimp, a
Right,
prostitute.
right,
All of these things that they are going to encounter.
right.
So either I can tell you, or the streets are going to tell you, but you may not be able to come back from it if you learn that way. You understand what I'm saying? So even with the mental health.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. My family was, I mean, I was raised by women. My dad wasn't in my life.
Mhm.
And when we really look at where we at as a society, men are not present in a lot of homes. So there's brokenness in a home. And not just from the male perspective, but the female perspective. But how do the men get back to the place where we should be? Because we were made to be out the home, but we out. So even being out, it's like, are we passing this information on to young people that we see, that we come in contact with, whether it be work, school, whether it be in passing? Because a lot of times folks don't want that information because they feel like ain't nothing exciting about that. It is. It is. But we got to get to that place where we make it exciting, where we make it, where, hey, you need to look at that. Hey, you need to think about that. And we can pass information on where they're at an age where they're getting it. The Jewish community start at 12 years old, they start preparing their kids for finance at 12 on running business. We taught to go to school, get an education. You get an education, you go to school, then you get out, now you ain't got a job. Or the job you're getting is below your degree. And it's like we keep going through a vicious cycle because all that's been told us is get an education, get an education. What about owning a business? You know, that sets you apart. That brings you back to a place where now you can control what comes in and out your home. But we're not at that place, and we keep fighting. And I think one of our biggest issues is we all fighting against each other for a common cause, to see our families come from a place where we been at the bottom, or been on the rut, or struggling paycheck to paycheck. But if we change some of our habits and not be so impressionable about Sally Sue driving a nice car. We don't know what Sally Sue going through to be driving a nice car. But now Sally Sue has convinced you to go live outside your means, and now you're struggling. And as long as you're struggling, that happiness for your family is being missed, or they're not getting it.